Hey Oasis Church, I hope you're all doing super well. We're just going to check out some information from Mum and Dad about how Oasis is going online in this season. Do that tomorrow. So first up, Mum and Dad, how are you guys going in this crazy season?
It's definitely challenging and different, but it is fun.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, kind of just from everyday life, because it's a new lifestyle. You've got to develop new habits and new practices. It's just a real challenge sometimes, I think.
Yeah.
But
yeah. What do you think is one of the biggest challenges that people are facing at the moment in Glen Innes then?
I think that probably one of the things I noticed that people still like to go out.
That's true.
Which is probably understandable, but they should just the less interaction we have. Unfortunately, the less interaction we have with other people, the better off things will be. So
that's the biggest challenge: how to interact, but not be together.
Yeah.
So hence today.
And that's right, Church. We do want to build community and show care for one another, but we've just got to be creative in the way we do it. And so even in our efforts to respect our government and flatten the curve is how can we, whether it's drop a note, drop a text message or comment on something and interact with people, there's definitely ways that we can connect. What do you think one of the highlights or good things that God could bring out of this season is? Anything?
I saw an interesting thing from Alpha Crucis this week saying, "Oh, you should enroll in a course because you're going to have plenty of time." So perhaps it's all those things we've put off after we've cleaned the house and the yard. Then perhaps there's all those other things that we wanted to do that we never did. Perhaps that's the time to start investing in those. Like, for example, I was given a guitar, so learning to play guitar. Another good thing is you can do at home is learn a language, which my wife is learning Italian. So it's a good thing for your brain capacity and for your mental health as well. Yeah. So yeah, just do the things that we probably have been putting off for a long time, and just probably investing into our lives at the moment and other people as well. So figure out ways and be creative how we can invest into other people and maintain contact. Yeah, would be a good thing to do.
Definitely keeping in touch with people online because it's not something I do much. Even if I write a text message, it takes me so long just to think to get all the words right and nice and good. So that will be fun, but also a challenge.
Yeah, that's good. Do you know one thing I have been aware of is that the human condition, like we've always actually needed God, but not everybody knows it. And I feel like in this season is actually an awakening of a need for God that people actually didn't realize was there.
Yes, I think I've spoken to 3 people about praying for them this week, and I wouldn't have probably in the past, and all was positive comments.
Yeah,
yes.
That's cool.
Just let me add. Also, it's a time for us to choose by faith to believe that Jesus said He will never ever leave us, nor will He forsake us. Yeah. So to choose by faith that He is with us now, even though we can't be with other people readily, that He is with us in person and His presence is with us.
Yeah, that's a really good point. So what's church going to look like from now,
Dad? Church will be, it'll be totally different to what we've used to. Again, like no contact, no interaction with other people. That'd be the advice, and that's what we would strongly urge people to do. Just keep away from people as much as possible. I know it doesn't sound Christian, but I think in the context, the loving thing we can do is to do that because it puts the other person and their interests before ours. Yeah. So we won't be associating or hanging around, so it's getting probably cleverer with technology. And so our hope is that we've got what have we got? We've got a messenger group that people can join. There's a couple of those within Oasis Church. We've got a Facebook page that we have. We have a website that we have as well. They're all Oasis Church New England. And and our endeavour is to offer at least once a week we'll have a Sunday service, whatever that looks like. So, and we'll have a YouTube presence as well, which is all a bit new and different for us. So, yeah. So we want to keep contact, and I know there's an abundance of stuff on YouTube and other forms of media. But I'd just encourage people, if you belong to Oasis Church, at least make us a part of your regimen for the day, what you listen to and what you hear, what you watch. Just so you know what we're up to. Just remember each other's faces and voice. But yeah, just to be committed to your local fellowship.
Yeah. That's good. Cool thing, actually. The advantage that Oasis has is at the moment, every worship team is changing around the country. But the good thing is Oasis's worship team is not changing because we'll still do DVD worship. And so Dad will put together a playlist on YouTube of songs that's going to be kind of the playlist for Sunday morning in line with what he's sensing. And then someone will record communion, and then Dad will record the preach. So it'll actually be very similar to a Sunday morning. We'll pop that in a YouTube playlist and then share that to Facebook, and we'll also have the links on our website. So it'll be very easy to access from any platform and know where you're going. And so the playlist will include worship, communion, and the word. And so if you are at home and doing it, then I encourage you, please ensure that you prep up something for communion, whether it's water and pizza or juice and biscuit, anything that is some form of a meal or something. Would be amazing, because we want to still remember Jesus together, and we will be doing it together, or you'll be doing it together on Sunday at 9.
So we encourage you to reach out to one another, to us if you need anything. We're here, and it's always good to keep in touch and know that we love you and that we're here to support all of us.
Just as we talked about last week at church, just be careful of what we think on. There's a heap of information is just coming in, which is kind of like, I don't know about negative, but it's truthful, but it can be, if we kind of dwell on it, it can be harmful, I reckon. So the thing would be to just, what Paul admonished the Philippians to do in chapter 4 of Philippians. He says, so keep your thoughts continually fixed on all that is authentic and real. And even so, there's a lot of real things happening, but it's focus on the fact that God's with us, the reality of God being with us, that God's going to bring good out of any situation. But think on those types of things. Whatever is honourable, whatever is admirable, whatever is beautiful and respectful, pure and holy, merciful and kind, and fasten your thoughts on every glorious work of God, praising him always. They're great words, and that's from the Apostle Paul, who experienced a lot of heartache and turmoil in his life in the midst of walking with Jesus. So
that's great.
The challenge for us now is to be intentional in our walk with Jesus, and in our thinking, and the way we treat each other, and in our lifestyle, everything.
Yeah.
Be faithful.
Church services will be up at 9:30 in the morning, and as Mum said, don't be a stranger. Keep being connected and reaching out, and then continue to pray for one another in this season as God gives you promptings and that kind of thing. We just don't want to. We want to keep meeting together and keep loving on people, even if it looks a little bit different. So over and out, 9:30 tomorrow morning.